I've spent the last 4 years consulting and actually doing the marketing for 200 plus businesses all over the world. And today I want to share what I've learned, because marketing wasn't at all what I thought it was at the beginning of this journey. You see, there's the marketing they teach you in school, which I learned, and that was just mostly theory. But then there's real marketing in the world that's practical, that you actually get your hands dirty with and see real sales and real results from. And don't get me wrong, the theory is helpful, but it's only helpful to a degree. And you need to have some things in the practice mode of marketing for the theory to actually be helpful, or so that you can actually understand what parts of the theory are. So if you're a student watching this video, I may be able to help you pass your marketing test, but if you're a business owner or an aspiring business owner, I can absolutely help you grow your business and get more sales, leads, and all the good things that come when you start marketing. So the best way to understand marketing is to understand the marketing funnel. And there's plenty of different models of the funnel, but the one we're going to show today is this one. So there's two main things you should be paying attention to here. Obviously, as a funnel, it's wider at the top and more narrow at the bottom, which means that at each stage of the funnel, there are less and less people. Makes sense. But I also want you to pay attention to the labeling of each part of this funnel, because it's actually super helpful. First, we have the awareness part of the funnel. This is pretty standard. It's everybody that's aware of the company that you own. If you don't have anyone that's aware of you, you can't get anybody in the other parts of the funnel. The next step in the funnel is consideration. So a percentage of the people who are aware of your company will be considering doing business with you. And then after that, we have the conversion part of the funnel, which these are the people that actually purchase. Then after that, there are two parts of the funnel that are extremely important and that a lot of marketers forget about, and that's loyalty and advocacy. So loyalty is creating customers that want to buy again and again. Almost anyone can get someone to buy something once, but getting them to buy repeatedly is a much more difficult skill. And as far as advocacy goes, that means people actually promoting your product for you, doing your marketing for you because they love the product so much. So our job as marketers is to pull as many people as possible through this funnel, get them to be aware, get them to consider, get them to convert, and then also stay loyal and eventually become advocates. So this begs the question, how do we actually get people in this funnel? And there are 6 ways to do this. So the first 3 of these 6 ways are through media. There's 3 types of media. The first one is paid media. So this would be like running ads on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Next, we have earned media, which is growing a social account on any of those social platforms as well, or maybe even like getting on the news or something like that. And then lastly, owned media, which would be an email list or a list of phone numbers that you can send texts to. Those are owned because you own the phone numbers, you own the emails, whereas paid media and earned media, you don't really own your followers on any particular platform and you could get taken off at any time. One of the biggest sources of revenue for many companies is their list, because it's so valuable to just own a list of contacts that you can reach out to. That brings me to number 4 of 6 in the 6 strategies for awareness, and that's direct outreach. So direct outreach would be cold calling, cold texting, cold messaging, sliding into the DMs on any platform. That would all be considered direct outreach. Next up, we have affiliates and strategic partners. So these are people that get paid to refer business to you. So for example, there's a company I absolutely love called High Level. It's an all-in-one marketing CRM, and I'm an affiliate of theirs. So when I promote their product and people sign up under my link, I get a commission every time somebody pays them. That's an affiliate agreement. A strategic partner would be like, let's say you're running advertising campaigns for, chiropractors. Then you could reach out to all of the gurus or the coaches in the chiropractor space and say, hey, when you're working with clients that are looking for a marketing agency, why don't you send people our way? And we'll just pay you, their first month's retainer or something like that. And then lastly, we have referrals. This is just happy customers referring people to you. And that's it, guys. Every marketing activity that's going to make somebody aware of you is going to fit into one of those 6 strategies. For me, it's really helpful to think through these when I'm thinking, okay, how can I promote my products or my services, and just pick whichever channel I think has the most potential, either in the short term or in the long term, and focus on that one, and then eventually start building out the next and the next and the next. And here's another little tip. A lot of you guys own marketing agencies or are trying to start marketing agencies. If you own a marketing agency, you could fit into any of those 6 categories, which is pretty cool because there's some unique ones in there. If you were able to start a referral-based company or maybe an affiliate marketing agency that connects brands and influencers, that's a pretty unique offering that a lot of people that are just trying to start out and run Facebook ads or whatever aren't looking at and are totally viable models, just take a little bit more work to figure out and aren't as obvious. Awesome. Now let's discuss the second stage in the marketing funnel, which is consideration. Now, the thing that's the most important as we discuss consideration is to think about your shadow funnel. This is a term coined by Russell Brunson in his book, Traffic Secrets, which I highly recommend. And basically it just means anything that lives on the internet or elsewhere that people could find out about your company. So reviews, your website is technically part of your shadow funnel, anyone that has anything to say about you in online forums or communities, and really just your brand equity and reputation in whatever field you operate in or whatever area. And the reason this fits in the consideration phase is because these are all of the things that help people make the decision to purchase with you while they're considering. Your shadow funnel is so important because even though some people may not look at it at all, the buyers that you really want are going to do their due diligence and look through your reviews, look at your competitors, see, product A versus product B. And if you have a really good shadow funnel built out and you have a great reputation, then more people are going to make the decision to go to the next stage of the funnel with you, which is conversion. This is also where your branding really comes into play, because if somebody's trying to decide between your product and someone else's, it's not always just the reviews or how good the product is. A lot of people care about the brand and the mission behind the company more than they care about how good the product actually is. All right, so as people start to move out of consideration towards the conversion part of the funnel, this is where things really get quite different depending on the business you run. So I'll tell you what I mean. For an online retailer or somebody with an e-commerce store, everybody just checks out. They convert from the page and they don't really need to talk to anybody. Maybe an email would help to answer a couple questions about the product, but most people don't need to get on a call to buy something from your Shopify store. However, if someone is buying something that's $1,000, $2,000, $10,000, $20,000, they typically need to have a sales conversation with somebody on your team or yourself. And that sales conversation is crucial to making those conversions happen. But where these two roads kind of converge again, e-commerce and other types of businesses where you may need face-to-face interaction or a sales call to make the sale, the common denominator is trust. People won't buy from you if they do not trust you. So when it comes to selling online, you need to put all of the things on the sales page that people need to understand in order to trust you so that they will buy. And when it comes to a sales conversation or a sales call, people need to trust you by the end of the call so that they can make a decision. And once they've made that decision, they move into the next stage of the funnel, hopefully. A lot of people don't end up moving their customers to the loyalty or advocacy part of the funnels because their product just isn't that good or their onboarding experience isn't great. So I've identified 3 key things that you really need to build loyalty with your customers once they come on board. The first one is an amazing product. If you've promised something that you can't fulfill on, you will make sales, but you will not build a business long term. You'll just ruin your reputation. So the good product is first and foremost in any company. Next up, good branding. We talked about this before, but a lot of people will just stick with the company because they like the branding, they like the mission, they feel like they're part of a community, and they just don't want to let that go, even if they don't use the product or really like it that much. An example, again, Russell Brunson gave in one of his books. This guy got a shirt and he didn't cancel his ClickFunnels account, even though he hadn't logged in months, because he felt like he was part of a community and he was really grateful they sent him a shirt. There you go. And that brings me to my last point, which is good relationships. Someone feels like they're building a good relationship with someone inside of the company or just as part of the community that may be part of a company's culture, they are going to stick a lot more than someone that doesn't have that. All right, that brings us to advocacy, which is the last step in the funnel. This is honestly the exact same as loyalty, except there's one extra ingredient that you can kind of shake in there. So you need the same 3 things to get people to promote you: an amazing product, good branding, good relationships. I'll give you an example. My wife, she loves these like sticker nails from a company called Dashing Diva, but she had used these for years, and when she moved to her new school, she told all the other teachers about them. And she mentioned to me yesterday, as I was telling her about this video, that like 30 people at her school wear these stick-on nails now because they just love them. And that's why the Dashing Diva company is succeeding, because they've built something that solves a real problem for women that want nails but don't want to pay a ton of money for them. That's the advocacy you're going for. Now, the way that they could really ramp that up, and I'm not sure if they have an affiliate program, but if they gave incentives to people in order to promote their product, they could take something they already love and make the money back that they spend on the product. It's just game over. Like, people are going to promote that all day. That's how Facebook grew. That's how Instagram grew. People loved this social media aspect. And then they would say, hey, invite people to our platform. And they would invite their friends, because they had an incentive of building more and more community, and also saying like, oh, I'm cool because I found this first. And that's the entire process of taking someone from a stranger to a customer. And there have been loads and loads written on every single part of this funnel, every single aspect of how you execute things to get customers to actually continue to buy from you. However, all of it fits inside of this framework. So when you understand this, you can read a book and be like, okay, this is where this fits inside of the funnel, which is super helpful. If you liked this video, you might like this video where I talk about how to get your first customer when it comes to prospecting. So free direct outreach approaches to getting that first customer. It's one of my most popular videos, so I think you'll like it. Thanks so much for tuning into this video, and we'll talk to you soon.